What's up, fam? This is Luna here with another King Arthur Legend Drives video. And today I kind of wanted to look at the state of this game, right? Don't get me wrong, I love playing this game. I think this game has a lot to offer, especially if you're kind of coming in newer the past couple of months, where you still have a lot of stuff to get, a lot of characters to try to maintain. You're still probably trying to build up your teams and whatnot. For the Hall of Conquerors or maybe Dimensional Rift or some of this more in-game content, right? But for the past few months, like I said, I still love this game, and I hope Netmarble can kind of bring us some more stuff faster, right? I don't want to just be totally negative on this video, and we'll end off doing a few summons, right? Not a whole lot, but we'll just kind of pull with a little bit that I have. So let's kind of talk about what's kind of new to the game first, right? So we got a new character, and she is aesthetically, I mean, she is phenomenal. See, Herja, right? So she is with the stag favor, so it's nice that they're kind of going through and kind of beefing up the stags. It's like, it seemed like they started with the serpents, especially when they started adding to the different characters there, especially with Nika. Now they're looking at building up the stags, which I think is great. I think they still need some more damage, not necessarily damage dealing because you got King Arthur, but definitely better healers, because it's like I'm using Tyrion and all of my stag teams for everything. And she does a phenomenal job as a rare character. But again, we're talking about a rare character here, right? But, you know, Herja I think is great. But we did have that 2 weeks in between where it's just another relic, right? I think it was it Lagartha's relic, or maybe it was, or actually, you know what? I think it might have been Vala's relic, maybe was the last one. So it's like they brought a new character. Instead of a lot more new content, they added some new dungeon levels, not new dungeons, but new dungeon levels. So pretty much just make it a little bit harder. And then they went back, they brought in Vala, and then I think they went back to doing another relic. And then now we have Herja, again, which I think she is great. But I just hope that within this next update in about a week or so, at least at the time of this recording, that they do something besides just another relic kind of pool, like maybe King Arthur's Storm relic or something. Who knows what they might end up going back towards. But I hope they don't end up doing that, right? Because even as is now, those special relics you have to use crystals for, and who has a bunch of crystals to try to use on, you know, energy, or maybe trying to use it for some other pools, or now you're trying to use the relics. I personally would not recommend using them on the relics. I would use them primarily on energy refills, on doing your commander pass, or what is it, commander? Yeah, the commander pass, right? Because it's 2,000 gems that you can get a lot of free energy, and you do get, if you reach level 30, you do get those 10 special rate up summons, which is pretty good. But again, right, only other kind of newer content, I want to necessarily say it's new, is Hall of Conquerors. Like, yeah, so we have Blazing Pinvid, which is just Pinvid kind of reskinned, right? We have Tyrion and Talos, which we've seen them before. What I think we really need, other than, I think we need more than 2 characters a month, that would be great. Or at least, you know, sometimes there's only 1 character a month when they go back to doing the relics, right? But just kind of a little frustrating. I wasn't at the very beginning of this game, but I've probably been playing for about 6 months now or so, at least right up there, and definitely not getting, you know, the 300 hearts like some of these people are in Hall of Conquerors, but I'm pretty far progressed rather in the game. And it's just kind of starting to become a little cumbersome now. It seems like I'm just going in and doing my dailies versus really trying to push something different in Hall of Conquerors, because it's really just, I'm using the same teams that I used in previous Hall of Conquerors, so it's not much I'm really doing to try to push and progress. You guys let me know in the comments you've kind of feeling the same, and I just really hope that this next update in about a week, that it's not another relic one. I mean, that'd be great if they were to kind of slow things down, because now, bam, they're going to come in bringing some new dungeons where you can get, you know, resistance gear or some bigger gear or some of the other gears that you can't actually farm the dungeon directly for. You have to actually farm the dungeon to get the materials to then try to craft them, which costs additional money. Then I don't know about you guys, but for me, I definitely don't have the best of luck when it comes to crafting. I think I've been trying like almost 20 times now. I need a pair of 6-star Ascension boots, and I keep getting nothing but 5-star. It's like, come on. What are the odds of that where I'm just keep getting nothing but 5-star over and over and over? But I digress. I still think this game has a lot of potential, especially for new players. But for me, like I said, just going through and doing Forbidden Dungeon, and then like Dimensional Rift is just kind of like the Forbidden Dungeon, except going down, you're just going up. But it's just slightly different restricted content, which I do kind of like, but the rewards are a little bit lackluster, especially if you're looking at what it costs to do one of these relics. So if I want to look at engraving, right, that is 1,000 of these relic shard points. 1,000. That is absolutely insane, right? And then I have done this before, trying to max out HP, say for example, on like Nika, right? Because she definitely benefits from HP. But then you got to look at what else are you giving up? And just to get a relic here, you're looking at 52,500 of these relic. Sorry, not that one. Cancel that. Don't have enough anyway. Of these relic shard points, right? So, and I pull basically when the resets come around for like the arena shop, the clan shop, all that stuff. I definitely go on and try to buy up all the relics just for the sake of trying to build up. Because right now, they previously had King Arthur's Frost relic in there, which, man, if I would have known that was coming around, I would have waited for that. Because I just spent like a couple days before picking up Brennan's Flame Relic, which I've been wanting his Flame Relic for a while now. But it's like, of course, the time I spend something, not thinking I'm going to get anything else great will show up in the shard shop, because, as you know, or probably know, his relics were only available from the Hall of Conquerors by clearing or falling within the top 50 or 100 initially. And even then, you're not getting a lot if you're within the top 100. But I think what we really need is to get more characters all around, number one. Let more legendary characters, I think more rare characters would be great too. And then even bring in some more, maybe not necessarily 100% all the time restricted content, but maybe kind of rotate stuff out, not just Dimensional Rift where you have to use your uncommons or maybe your rare characters. So you actually have something to work towards to try to build up, to beef your teams up to the rest of the game, versus using the same teams over and over and over again for just the kind of reskins or the reuse of the old bosses in the Hall of Conquerors. And also, I think it'd be great if you'd actually get some credit towards using Burning Land, because you have Plain of Beast and Frozen Plain are your daily requirements, but for Burning Land and Shadow Storms it's not. Sometimes it's part of your clan missions, but you're using gold and XP a lot in this game, probably more than anything else, and it's not even something that you get daily credit for. You just have to expend your stamina on. But really, I think if we just got some more characters more frequently, and then like I know Mike GOG did a video, which I'll try to link to at the end, where he kind of went through and looked at all the characters that are already in the game, because you go against them in the PvE content, but they're not available, right? Which, I mean, they're already in the game. All of their skills and stuff is already set. It'd be really easy just to go and make them a character, because you're not bringing something totally new. But again, the second thing, kind of rambling on here, sorry about that. Well, first of all, more characters. Second of all, I would say we need more equipment dungeons to get that gear that's not listed here. I mean, it's great that they added a few rotations back that they're now saying new, even though it's been new for over a month now. They've added new levels, which is just a harder version of the game. There's nothing different. It might help if I hit the right button, but there's nothing different, right? So really, they go from 10 to 12. Yeah, I can farm 10, as you can see, a little bit faster there, but the drop is really not that much of a difference, at least not that I have noticed. So it's like, what is the reason for doing that? I've already gone through and cleared all the dungeons for this, right? All level 12. I've had videos on that, especially for some of the free-to-play versions, other than Padar's, because if you can do it free-to-play, as long as you have your wish list and stuff set up to have those characters, right? It's definitely doable, but to go straight off of only rares and using Morgan, you're not going to clear the higher levels of Padar specifically. But, you know, they brought in some new gear sets, but not addressed the point of, hey, we need resistance, we need accuracy, we definitely need vigor, right? So that's 3 off the top of my head that they can have a dungeon for and make it even harder, make it to where it's maybe even more end game, right? Whatever the case may be. But definitely I would say, you know, number 1, we need more characters. Number 2, we need some more content. Primarily, I think I would like to see an equipment dungeons first, and then maybe even Hall of Conquerors, bringing in a 3 new bosses versus kind of reskins. You know, Megalon was pretty cool, and I definitely had to think a lot about building a team, because the dynamics of that boss was something different, right? You couldn't just strip his buffs or dispel his buffs or explode his buffs, right? Like you could with Thrym. So it's definitely something new to kind of to look at and try to advance on, right? So, and then I think just more opportunity. I would say number 3 for me is this sealed temple, right? You only get 6 a day, and so typically I just go back and forth, or I might do Master of Death one day, then I might come in here and do Crom Crotch, probably just butcher that name, another time. But still, why am I on or farming the highest level of this dungeon, or whatever you want to call this, and then I'm still getting primarily rare and even uncommon drops on these, right? I'm not saying give me 100% legendary drops, but at least for me, as far as the RNG that I'm seeing, you guys can definitely leave in the comments if you are seeing the same thing. But for me, I'm still getting a lot of, like I said, rare and uncommon drops at the highest level. So I'm happy to take a lot longer to build up my characters, because I'm limited by 6. I get it. You don't want to make this where you can just maybe farm it all the time, but maybe even have it where you can do at least maybe 12, 6 of each a day, or maybe even you're allowed to use crystals maybe to go back and refarm it one more time. You know, that way you're still, you do something to get to those resources. But I agree, maybe not having that open 24/7 would probably be beneficial, because especially as a new player, just getting everything within a couple of weeks and having all those resources available would not probably be good for the game overall. Completely understand that. But again, I don't want to be too negative here, because I really do still love this game. Obviously, you know, I'm taking the time to cover this game instead of, you know, hanging out with the fam right now. But I just hope that they bring in some new stuff faster than what they have done the past few months. Because to me, it just seems like videos on this game from other content creators have kind of dropped off. I don't know for sure if just overall players in this game have dropped off. It just seems like it's much slower. And then, like, there's hardly ever anything from the developers. And since I'm such a small channel, they'll probably never even see this video. But again, not to be totally negative, I do love this game. You know, I'm still playing it every single day. But those 3 things I think we really need now is, you know, there's more characters. We need to be able to get those dungeons, equipment dungeons, where we can get some more of those gear equipment. And then having access to new content, especially or having more access to getting those books and those talismans for your characters. But like I said, hopefully end this off on a good note. I will say, unfortunately, I've only gotten 2 chivalries of Herja, because both times it's taken me all the way to Pity to pull her. So if I get enough resources, I might go in and try to maybe pull a couple more 10 pops before this expires in, you know, almost 6 days. But we'll kind of see. But we'll warm it up real quick with a normal summon. Get nothing fancy here, but at least getting a rare definitely helps when you look at exchanging that in the shop to get more. Which is, hey, you got at least 1 rare, which is great, because you're not guaranteed any rare at all on these pulls. So, and I do have all of my rare characters fully silvered. All the silveries maxed out. I do not have all the relics completely maxed out, etc., because it's not really needed. Like I said, have a couple of these special summons here. I recently pulled another copy of Caliber and Arthur, and he was on my wish list, so I pulled him out, and I've gone in and added Lancelot, and I've also added I cannot think of his name, Merlin. Good night. But like, we'll go ahead and pull these real quick. Not guaranteed anything. My luck overall on pulls has been terrible. Hopefully I'll get lucky, maybe get double pull. Nope, just a blue. No hyperflex on that one. Hey, 4 rares. That's definitely nice. Definitely great for the shop there. Definitely not used to getting that many. All right, one more 10 pop here. Let's see if we'll get lucky. Like I said, I'll take anyone on my wish list right now. And just some more rares. See, also kind of just a little frustrating. Don't get me wrong, the pull rates on this game are far better than other games like Raid, etc. But like I said, don't want to keep going on being a negative Nancy here, but there's a lot of other newer games that are coming in that have, off the bat, more content, or within the first few months, more content than King Arthur has. They've been out for about 9 months now. So I just hope that developers kind of just kick it in gear, either come up with something soon, or at least maybe an update of, hey, this is what to expect to come out soon. That way we're not just sitting around waiting, hoping for something that may not ever happen. So definitely some communication. That probably should actually be number one. Just straight up communication on, some updates on what's coming with the game. But that's all I have for you guys tonight. And as always, thanks for stopping by.